one of the things that is very important when you're first meeting people in either dating, relationships, friendships, is to create an aura of authority. And I don't mean an aura of authority where you're abusive, manipulative, vindictive. It's an aura of authority where people sense your value, where people sense the value that you provide for them, right? But the problem is that people don't truly sense this aura of authority when they first get to see you. The problem is that a lot of us have this very nice aura that is nice, but unfortunately doesn't produce respect because we're happy, we're elated, we found someone that likes us back, and as a result, we show our happy side. We're less strict with them. For example, like, you know how corruption works, right? Where if I don't know you too well and you break the law, I will hold you accountable, right? But if I know you really well and you break the law, I'm going to be a little bit more lenient. This type of corruption is part of human nature. When you develop emotional connections with people, you tend to corrupt yourself. You corrupt your standards. You lower your standards. You let them get away with things. And this sets the stage because it actually shows weakness. And this is why people who love each other disrespect each other the most. Simply because they're comfortable to be disrespectful. They know they've given up a lot of their trust, a lot of their vulnerabilities to them, and a lot of people just take advantage of that. And what people don't understand is that taking advantage of your vulnerabilities a lot of the times is part of human nature. It takes enlightened people to not take advantage of it. It just does. Like, that's why with our parents, when you're growing up, you have to move out, because if not, a lot of people would just end up like committing crimes, people. You know what I'm saying? So it's a natural erosion of relationships when you don't value setting standards and holding on to it. It will destroy the relationship. Even if you guys love each other, you guys are going to disrespect yourself so much that it's not going to work out. All right? So let's talk about this, right? Now look, one of the hallmarks of value, right? And by the way, before we begin this one, if you guys ever want to work with Father Alex one-on-one and you're dealing with someone who's not showing you the respect that you feel like you deserve, they're treating you badly and you want them to treat you better, right? And you don't know how to apply these strategies. Even though you're listening to me, you don't know how to do it because your situation is unique. Your situation is different. Well, you need a phone call with Father Alex. That's what you need, okay? Because sometimes you just need to hear me tell you exactly what you hear me in these videos for you to actually do it. Right? So if you want to do that, click in the description down below where it says work with me one-on-one. I've worked with thousands of clients, and not once have I had a negative review. Not once have anybody said that I've scammed any of them. Okay, I have a pretty clear record. All right, so click. Well, somebody says I forgot to call them this morning. I did not get notified. That's why. That's the only time, right? But if anything, it's a clear record. And if you guys don't like the advice, just ask for your money back. There's a money back guarantee. No, there's actually not a money back guarantee. There's a money back guarantee for the courses, not the advice. Click in the description down below to work with me one-on-one, or else I'm gonna have to close the channel. So remember, one of the hallmarks of value is similar to what happens to your phone. If you lose your important phone, you notice there's a sense of dread. If you lose your side phone, you notice that you're okay with it. But why is that? Because it shows you the value. How much you value something is how much you dread losing it. Unfortunately, we have jaded people with our presence so much that they don't really believe that if you leave them, they're going to cry. They're not really going to believe that if you leave them, it's going to dread them. Why? Because you have oversaturated your presence to them. So you have to learn how to create less tolerance, how to create that sense of loss in people. And it's very important. The problem is that too many of us moralize these strategies and we feel cruel doing it, when in reality, if you have kids, you'll know that you got to learn how to sometimes inflict pain when they're messing up. You got to learn how to sometimes give kids space. When you, like, for example, during COVID, a lot of families divided, a lot of families got destroyed, and unfortunately some kids went through a lot of abuse, a lot of relationships ended. You wanna know why? Too much motherfucking presence, man. It's that simple. They were hanging around each other so much. It's not that they hated each other, but that human nature needs space to roam. Some people can only truly value you when you leave. For example, I had my dog, right? And this makes me cry a little bit, okay? So, but I try to think about it before making this video. So, but my dog, my mom gave away my dog, and I really hate that. And because of that, like, it made me realize how much I love my dog. I do love my dog, and I was literally gonna go and visit her. But when I heard that she gave away my dog and never asked me whether or not I want to hold it and keep it, made me extremely angry, and just a sense of anger, And it's kind of similar to that. Now I'm thinking of her, imagining her in my mind, and this is what happens. And now let's just say I see her again down the street, see her walking. What do you think is gonna happen? Don't get me wrong. When I would have seen her, I would have been happy. But seeing her, thinking she was never coming back again, it would release a sense of joy and happiness, right? And that's how you show people. Because if I leave my dog and come back, and I know that I'm gonna come back, it's not the same. But when you leave and you think you're never gonna see them again, there's something inherently different. And this is the thing, is that a lot of people don't believe your bluffs, right? A lot of people think you're never gonna leave. A lot of people think that when you say I'm gonna leave, they don't believe you. Your threats have no power over them. And the reason why they have no power is not because, yes, most likely your nonverbal cues, they don't believe it through your nonverbal cues, but also because you never follow through. A lot of people, what people don't understand is that sometimes you have to leave people because they think you're weak. And the only way to fix that is not through words, but through actions. You have to have them say, holy shit. The one time they said that they were gonna leave, they actually left. And all of a sudden, those threats take on a different meaning. All of a sudden, the threat, you threatening to leave them, has a sense of reality to it. It's almost like they think about those moments when they mistreated you, when you asked them to stop doing that, or whatever, and they'll see it from a place of weakness. They're like, okay, they were really all about that life, right? And the thing is that a lot of the times we just are the ones that cause these situations because we like them. Like, it's only human nature, right? People don't the thing is that this threat, this ability to leave, is what creates an aura of authority around you. It's the aura of authority. The threat of leaving creates an aura of authority, right? You don't have to say anything. And the only way for you to truly create the aura of authority is to leave. And what happens is that if you allow yourself to leave those types of situations where it's disadvantage to you, what happens is that over time, the leaving becomes part of your character, and people will sense the neural wirings of you leaving people who bullshit you. They'll sense it through your non-verbal cues. It's an aura that will literally emanate from you, right? Because people don't really know you until you have to back up your words. Like, I could be meeting you and you say I'm gonna leave and you don't. That's when I know you. I'm like, okay, now I'm really getting to know you. But let's just say you're acting weak around me, you're needy, and I take you for granted, and then you leave, even though you acted needy, and you leave. Now, retrospectively, that needy behavior didn't look needy, it looked confident. The fact that you asked me to do this, and the fact that you texted me a lot, double texted me, was there for me. When you leave, all of those behavior in my mind will be reframed as confident, as open, not as weak, but as somebody who's confident enough to open up, but confident enough to leave. Ladies and gentlemen, that's power. Ladies and gentlemen, if you let that rest long enough, people will come back, right? They only off, right? Space is the only way that people can sense and process the emotions they truly feel for you. When you're meeting people, right? As you're getting to know people, you're gonna sense their presence, right? And you're gonna process them. You're getting to know the likes and dislikes. You're sensing how you interact with them, right? And a lot of times you're filling yourself up with them, but you're never truly processing what you're receiving. You're only eating and never digesting. And this is what tends to happen with a lot of us, that our presence becomes destroyed through indigestion, where we are so present and we never give people time to process us. It's like when we are hanging around people, we're on a date, and then we finish the date, and then we reflect. And then as you start reflecting, your mind starts imagining how awesome it was. And during that moment of space is when you start to fill in the blanks. You start to see them in your minds. And you know what's beautiful about this is that the presence is what creates the materials for your brain to process. In other words, your presence is like the rock, right? Like a something to sculpt. And the absence is what sculpts it. That's what you have to understand, right? Space allows the mind to fill in the blanks in a positive way. Why? Because you're naturally insecure. You find somebody that you like, and just like a child exaggerates the positive traits of their parents, you're going to start to exaggerate the positive traits and diminish the negative traits. And how does this happen? Well, it's almost like when you're having a photo and you put it through an AI to fill in the pixelated parts, the parts that really are more pixelated and more fuzzy. When you notice the AI filling it in, you can see the Photoshop equality to it, but it still is filled in through pixels, nothing real. Well, it's the same thing when you don't know someone and you're there and not there, but the time that you're there is really enjoyable. It has the same effect where your brain would literally fill in the blanks, right? Maybe you could see the eye kind of fuzzy, but with the AI, it fills in the blanks based on what it thinks it is and makes it more sharp. It's the same thing. They think they know you, but because they don't know you, when they get to know you, your brain will come to conclusions, especially using the halo effect. You're good looking, it'll give you positive traits. Add on more positive traits through the imagination. And the more distance there is, the more coldness there is to your nonverbal cues. In other words, they can't really read you, or better yet, sometimes they can read you, sometimes they can't. Sometimes you're warm, sometimes you're cold. It creates a sense of desperation in the mind that it'll start to fill in the blanks because it just doesn't want to feel uncertain about how you feel. And it'll exaggerate your positive traits, and above all, it'll question everything you do. You give them this look, they'll think they don't know what that means, right? You blink slow, they'll think, okay, what does that slow blink mean? Bitch, it means he's fucking blinking, okay? But that's the thing. The brain is what creates the image of you, and it exaggerates the positive qualities. And when I say exaggerate, I do mean exaggerate. It is not based on reality. It truly is not. Right? And that's why this usually happens in the first few months. Over time, you start to really get to know who they are, and you lose that sense of excitement, that tension, that sexual tension, and it creates a familiarity effect where all of a sudden they start to look like family, right? And that's when you start to see them for who they truly are. But the problem with that is that the sexuality lowers a little bit with that, right? So yeah, space allows the mind to fill in the blanks. Like an AI filling in blanks in an image. You need this. And sometimes leaving is the only way for you to grow out of these patterns. Leaving people who you really want to stay with is the only way for you to actually become, in this case, more attractive. Develop a sense of authority. Why? Because everything you've done, people could tell in your face and in your nonverbal cues. You may not be saying exactly what happened, but just like an abstract picture, the more detailed it gets, the less abstract it gets. You're giving them an abstract gestural representation, like an abstract painting that represents your feelings, where they'll sense that there's something in you that says, I'm leaving if you fuck up. But then with some people, there's something in you that says, I will never leave. And people can't really pinpoint where that is. It's like describing a smell. You know what that smells like, but you can't really describe it. You get what I'm saying? You can only use other smells to describe it. It's one of those biochemical things that translates into an abstract understanding of it that you can't really put into words, but you can sense. And that's why you can't think your way into this. You can't fake it. Like if you fake it, it'll look incongruent. You know what I'm saying? You actually have to integrate those wirings through literal action. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, hopefully this makes sense. If you guys want to work with me one-on-one, go to mindfulattraction.org, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
So a lot of you guys have been asking me, how can I purchase all of your courses in one go? Well, if you guys want to purchase all of them, you guys can join the Mindful Attraction University, people. Yeah, that's right. And in this, you'll be able to access all of my courses for $3.99. Initially, if you purchase all of my courses, Emotional Mastery, Psychological Game of Attraction, my new course, The Feminine Woman, Natural Chemistry, Charisma Blueprint, Nice Girl, you guys can purchase all of it for $600. But with the bundle deal, you guys can purchase it for $3.99. Or you guys can purchase it in 3 easy payments of $125, people. Yeah, that's right. Or you guys can purchase it with the bonuses. So you not only do you get the courses, but the bonuses. And that comes down to $7.99 or 4 easy and mindful payments of $199. Now, these bonuses are not regular bonuses. These bonuses are legit, almost like courses within a course, right? So you guys can just click on the description down below and explore the types of bonuses. For example, I have bonuses on how to get over your ex, how to become more creative, how to, well, especially in the feminine woman, I have a bonus about how to penetrate the mind and how to speak in a way that gets people to do what you want them to do. Like, it's honestly one of the craziest sections that I've ever made, because most of these courses, people, I come up with those ideas in meditation retreats. Nobody goes to the extent that I go. I go to meditation retreats to create these courses. There's a 14-day money back guarantee. If you don't like it, just ask me for the money back within 14 days, and I'll give you all the money back. Father Alex has never rejected a money back offer if I offered it. So, and if you guys already purchased one of my courses, for example, and you guys want to get the bonuses while getting a discount, you know what I'm saying? I have discount codes for people who purchase my courses. So if you purchase my courses, just send me a private message. Or if you work with me one-on-one, I'll give you a big discount for the courses. And there I can help all of you guys understand that this is a movement. Most people never knew this type of knowledge before. And I am trying to empower women across the world and liberate them from these negative and one-sided relationships through these courses. So hopefully you guys can spread the message and help other people out. And I'll see you guys inside. Or else I'm close to the